Hey guys, welcome to Megan Grace DIY. This video is going to cover how I made a sequin romper with a light up hood. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, let me introduce myself. I've been sewing for most of my life and I've been teaching fashion design at the high school and college level for 12 years. I also work as a freelance costume designer, and I definitely have always had an attraction towards all things sparkly and glamorous. So when I saw this fabric on the shelf, I knew I had to buy it and make something extra special with it. To make this outfit, I used 1.5 yards of a sequin fabric, or really any outside fabric of your choice. I used 3/4 yard of a contrast fabric, and what I used was a metallic lycra, 1 yard of a lining fabric, an 18-inch zipper, and I used 2 strings of lights to light up the hood, and any kind of matching thread and pins you might need. First, let me walk you through the pattern that I used. I used the Simplicity pattern 8520, and I made some very minor alterations to it. I used the front and the back of the bodice, and I cut it to be shorts length. I used the sleeve and made a cap sleeve, and then I used the hood. Since getting your hands on a commercial pattern can sometimes prove a bit difficult, I've attached an infographic in the description below on how to make your own pattern and what the shapes would look like. But when I started to type up the directions to go with this picture, I decided it'd be better for me just to do a side video that was 2 or 3 minutes to explain it versus actually having you read a 3-page document. And one small disclaimer, I just want to remind everybody that pattern makers practice for years and years perfecting their craft. So my directions might help you be able to get close, but if you haven't been really professionally trained in pattern making, it's hard for me to give you all that information at once, but I will do my best. What made me fall in love with this fabric is the fact that it's the type of fabric that when you push it side to side, the sequins flip. So one side is white and the other side is iridescent. But a fabric this beautiful does come with some challenges. The inside of the fabric is a little bit on the rough side, so that's why I had to line it, and then I also had to bind each of the seams so that way the sequins wouldn't be scratchy on my skin. Let's move on to the construction of the romper. The pieces we're going to start with are the front and the back of the bodice. Whenever you're making something that's shorts or pants, you can always tell the back from the front because the back will have a much steeper curve than the front to accommodate for your booty. Each of these pieces is also cut twice, 2 of the sequins and 2 of the lining. So the shapes that you're looking at right now actually represent half of the body, half of the back and half of the front. I'm starting by laying the 2 back pieces together, the sequins touching each other. And then I'll be laying the lining on top and on the bottom as well. So the layers in order will go lining, sequin, sequin, lining. If this looks like it's going to be thick to sew through, you're not wrong. It is pretty thick to sew through. But honestly, adding a lining in made the garment so much more comfortable and allowed me to wear it longer that night. Since the sequin fabric has some stretch to it, I needed to make sure that the lining had a stretch as well. So I used plain white stretch jersey for the lining fabric. I'm going to work down my center back seam, putting pins in place to make sure all the layers are lined up. Once you're done putting pins down the back center seam, you're going to move on to the front center seam. But you're only going to put 3 pins in from the crotch moving up. I'm going to sew these seams at 1/2 inch, but the reason I'm only sewing this short piece of the front crotch is because the rest of the seam is going to be taken up by the zipper. Once I've got the back center seam sewn and the front crotch seam sewn, I'm going to do a zigzag stitch down those 2 sides of the front center seam to marry together the sequin layer and the lining layer. I also put a zigzag finish on that small piece of the front center seam that I did sew closed. Here's the front of the bodice with the crotch seam sewn closed. Now we're ready to put in our zipper. Since I was making the romper on the tighter side, I opted to use what's called a sports zipper down the front of the romper. A sports zipper is basically just a chunkier, thicker zipper that you often see used in jackets or any kind of sporting wear. I also thought the chunky look went with the romper really well. To insert the zipper, I'm basically just using a centered zipper approach, where I'm taking one side of the zipper, flipping it upside down, and pinning it to the side of the center front seam. Once I've got it all pinned, I can take it over to the sewing machine and I can sew down the zipper tape. If you want to see as little of the zipper tape as possible and only see the zipper teeth, you're going to need a zipper foot to sew your zipper in. But if a more exposed zipper is the look you're going for, then using a regular foot is perfectly fine. Here's the front of my romper with the zipper sewn in. Now we're ready to take the front layer and the back layer and sew them together. With the sequin sides touching each other, I'm going to put pins down both of the side seams. I'm taking extra special care to make sure that all 4 layers of fabric are evenly lined up. With the side seams completed, I'm going to pin the crotch seams together as well. With all my pinning done, I took this over to the machine and I sewed the side seams and the crotch seam at 1/2 inch. After sewing these 3 seams, I would suggest that you try your romper on just to make sure you're on the right road with the sizing. This is the point in the project that I realized the seams with the sequin fabric were extremely scratchy to my skin. I ended up binding all the seams to solve that problem, but looking back, I could have made the lining a separate garment and put one inside of the other to solve that problem as well. Moving on to the sleeves. The type of sleeves that this romper has are called raglan sleeves, where the seam goes diagonally across the body, versus a set-in sleeve which has a curved cap. Here's our sleeve pattern piece cut out. I cut 2 of the sequin, because one for each side, and I also cut a layer of my contrast fabric for a lining. I plan on making a cuff out of the contrast fabric, so I cut it 2 inches past the sequin fabric. Since the sleeve is slightly tapered, I have to make sure I cut at an outward angle for the extra part for the cuff. I sewed together the underarm seam of each sleeve with the lining inside. And now we're going to attach the sleeves to the bodice. As you can see here, I'm lining up the underarm sleeve with the side seam of the bodice. Just like looking at the crotch of your pants, you can always tell the back of a sleeve from the front of a sleeve because the back curve is going to be longer and slightly deeper to accommodate for your back muscles. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the sleeve portion, this is known as a raglan sleeve, and the top of the sleeve actually ends up being part of the neckline, versus a regular sleeve where there's a sleeve cap that's inserted into a sleeve armhole. Once your sleeve is pinned, this is what it should look like. Follow me back over to the sewing machine where I'm going to stitch both of the sleeves in at 1/2 inch. You don't need any type of seam finish right now because we're going to bind this seam later in the tutorial to cover up any of the scratchy sequins. At this point, our romper is really starting to take shape. See the pretty lining on the inside? Now I'm going to finish off my sleeve end. Our goal is to make this sleeve look like this sleeve that I've already completed. I'm taking that extra fabric that I left that hangs out from the sleeve, folding it once and then folding it twice and pinning it in place. Once I've got the entire cuff pinned all the way around, I'm going to tack it in place with something called the slip stitch. Using a hand sewing needle, I'm going to start underneath the arm seam, and I'm going to use that tunnel and bite technique where you slide the needle through the tunnel of the fold and then take one small bite from the actual fabric of the sleeve. If you've never done the tunnel and bite or slip stitch before, I have a separate video that breaks down and shows you up close exactly how to complete it. A link to that video should be popping up on the screen right now, and I'll also link it in the description below. Since you don't need to watch me slip stitch for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the next part of the project. But it goes without saying that I slip stitched all the way around the cuff until I got back to the starting point. There we go, all done. I love a good contrast cuff. The last pattern piece that needs to be attached to our romper is the hood. Right now you're looking at the sequin layer, and you're going to sew the hood together down its back seam. You're also going to repeat this with your contrast fabric to be the lining of the hood. Since the lining of the hood and the hood itself need to be attached together, I'm going to prepare the lights and the hem of the hood before attaching it to the body. What I did first was I took the hem of the hood, pushed it in just a ½ inch, and did a quick whip stitch around the entire circumference of the hood opening. Once that hem was in place, I was ready to start attaching my lights. I used a basic battery-operated string of lights and used one string of lights for each side of the hood. Depending on how many lights you want, you could increase this or decrease this. Whenever you're adding lights to a garment, it's important to think about where your battery pack is going to end up. I'm placing my lights so each battery pack will end up on my shoulders. They're easy to access there and easy to change the batteries if needed. You want your battery packs hidden, but you also want them easy to turn on and off. The lights that I use for the project are set on a wire string. I twist each light to make a little stem and then use that stem to hand sew the light in place. Given that I want my lights to be evenly spaced around the hood, I counted how many lights are on the string, and then I checked the distance of how far I want those lights to cover. And that gives me the distance that I'm gonna have to put between each light and how much extra wire I'm hiding inside of the hood. I probably should have warned everyone at the beginning that this project has a lot of hand sewing, but if you didn't already notice, this project has a lot of hand sewing. So if you aren't totally sure how to complete a whip stitch, I've got a special tutorial that should show up above and I'll link it below. Here's the lining of my hood. I've already sewn the back seam, so it's ready to go into the garment. I bet you didn't think that's what the other side of my contrast fabric looked like, did you? I'm absolutely obsessed. I've got all of my lights hand sewn in at this point, and I'm gonna take my lining, tuck it under ½ inch, and line them up together at the back seams. I'm lining up the openings of the hoods so the lining fabric will cover up any of the extra wire from my lights, and you're only gonna see the little light LED poking out from the edge. Oh yay, more hand sewing. I promise, we're almost done. Just kidding, there's a lot more hand sewing to go. Just put on whatever your favorite Netflix binge is, and you're gonna slip stitch all the way around the whole opening of the hood, covering up all the wiring for the lighting. I think you can tell that I did this project in a couple of different stages and videotaped over a couple different days, just based on how many times my nail polish color has changed. After I hand sewed both layers of the hood together, I took this time to bind the seams that were really scratchy, which were the center back seam, the 2 armholes, and my side seams. With my seams all finished off, I'm ready to attach my hood. Here's how the hood looks now that the lining and the lights are all sewn in. It's so cool. I'm gonna flip my romper over and I'm gonna line up the back seam with the back seam of the hood. I'm only gonna pin together at this point in time the sequined layers. I'm gonna leave the lining out of this stitching. Starting from the center back and working our way outwards, we're pinning together the neck of the romper with the edge of the hood. The edge of that hood and the neck hole both have different curves, so make sure you take your time to ease where you need to and make sure the 2 edges are perfectly lined up. Once I'm done pinning the hood in place, I'm going to take this seam over to the sewing machine and sew it at ½ inch. Be extra cautious sewing here. We don't want to sew over any of our wiring or any of the leads to the battery packs. Now that the hood's attached, I think we can really see how this project is shaping up, and it's coming together beautifully. Take the seam that you just sewed and you're going to push it upwards towards the hood. We're then going to take the lining edge and pin it on top of that seam. We're basically hiding that edge underneath the lining of the hood. I'll be using a slip stitch to sew down the lining of the hood, thus closing up the entire neckline. And we're finally at the last step. We're going to create a contrast cuff to finish off the leg hole. I cut a strip of the contrast fabric that's 3 inches wide and the length of the circumference of my leg hole. I closed it to make a circle and then I sewed it at 1 inch around the leg hole. I'm folding the fabric down and then back up inside of the garment, so it's going to cover up the raw edge of the sequins at the end of the leg hole. And then I'm tucking the raw edge of the contrast fabric underneath about a ½ inch and pinning it in place. Once I've got the entire circumference of the leg hole pinned and it's nice and even and flat, we're going to go ahead and apply a slip stitch to the tunnel that I've created on the inside of the leg hole. I slip stitched all the way around the circumference of this leg hole and then repeated the step with the next leg hole. And once I'm done with these steps, my entire romper is complete. Here's a few shots of my romper in the sunlight. I love how the sequins dance underneath any type of light. And given that I actually made this romper almost a year ago, I think I was just excited it still fit after all the quarantine Haagen-Dazs. And we couldn't end this video without showing you what the romper looks like at night, all lit up. I'm wearing the romper paired with a light up bustier that I have another tutorial on my channel for. The two looks paired together really made me pop at the event that I attended with this outfit. Oh, and I have a special announcement before we go. If you liked the sequin fabric I used in this video, you can check out my Etsy store, or you can buy a mask done in the same sequin fabric. Right now I only have 2 items in the store, sequin masks and keychains with a fabric mask with different prints, but I plan on building it up over time. So if you're looking to make a small purchase, feel free to check my store out. That's it for this tutorial. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel, Megan Grace DIY. If you really liked this tutorial, please feel free to subscribe, like, and share, and don't forget to check out the other videos on my channel. And before we head out, just a reminder, if you're looking for the document that's going to explain how to make the pattern, it's located in the description box below. If you can't find the description box, there's usually 2-3 lines of text underneath the video and then a line that says show more. Click on show more and the entire description will drop down below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And as always, happy sewing!